Tech for Seniors, episode 39. It is December 21st, 2020. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully, everyone is safe and going to have a safe Christmas. Dewey, we were busy this week, Hewie, eh? Hewie, unmute yourself.
I was trying to get to there. Was doing a couple of screenshots. So
Yeah,
yes,
we
it's
were
been a very
busy.
busy week.
We were busy. We did our Chromebook session, eh?
And you know what? A lot of people have been watching it online too.
Yeah. So, and remember everyone that Huey and I do a Chromebook tutorial once a month, and you can certainly participate in that. Just sign up on Tech for Senior, and we'll send you the information. And it was a good meeting.
It was fun.
It was fun. And Bob, how's your new computer going? Are you doing okay?
Computer's fine, running like it should.
Excellent. And Ray, how's things going with you?
Things are going fine. Everything's quieted down here. Enjoying the slightly winter weather. It's not that bad at all.
Did you get all your deck finished and all your backyard done?
The front deck is all done. He has to come back and do the back deck. And I am now Firewise. Property is now Firewise. Word of the day, Firewise.
Okay. And Dewey, did you go down and pick the oranges off my tree yet?
Not yet. I'm going to start using mine in the next few days for the first time. Got a good crop.
Okay. All right. Listen, I wanted to. We're going to change things next week a little bit. I've asked, since it will be the last session this year, next Monday, I'm going to ask our four panelists to give us some predictions. I'm going to ask Hewie. Next week, we're gonna have about a 10-minute, and each person's going to give us a little prediction on what's going to happen in the next year. And Huey's going to talk what he thinks about Windows. Bob's going to tell us a little bit about security and see what if he thinks what's going to happen. And Ray's going to tell us all about music and what he thinks is going to happen next year. Will there be something new in music? And Dewey's going to give it some thought as well. And they're all going to give us their prediction on what's going to happen this following year. And I'm going to do a prediction as well. And so that'll take up about 10 minutes of our time. So we're going to budget that into next week's show. Lots of interesting things happened this week. Let me just share my screen and we'll share it here. And we're going to talk about a couple of articles. The first article was Zoom on the Amazon Echo devices. This was just recently announced this week, and Zoom now should be available. Now, I can't make it work, and I don't know. It says it's now available on all the Echo Dot series, and it is available in Canada and the United States. And the app should have been updated. So if you do have an Amazon Echo device, we should now be able to use Zoom on it. So I don't know whether they just haven't updated the app in Canada, but if you do have an Echo device, have a look at that. The other thing I wanted, if there are any Canadians down in Arizona, the Canadians can now watch the CBC on Roku TV. And I'm not sure if that's going to be available in the States, but that's a big deal, particularly for us guys that go down there and we want to watch Canadian channels without having to subscribe to Canadian satellite news. This is a big deal. So I want you to have a look at that and see if it's working down there. The other one was my new watch. My new watch that I bought, which is of course Fitbit, and it was the Fitbit Sense. And this is the watch. It just came out. It's extremely popular. I don't necessarily think it's the best option right now, but I bought it with the idea that Google is probably going to improve this. And indeed they are, because they just announced that they're going to have a new app that will do continuous cardiac monitoring for arrhythmias. So we talked about, those of you who have seen my presentations, I talk about it too slow, too fast heartbeat, and also the atrial fibrillation detection, but that's only when you click the button to do an ECG. This new feature that they're going to be downloading and putting on this particular watch will do ongoing monitoring on a 24/7 basis, which is new for watches. So this is just, it just gets better and better and better. And that's a new feature they just announced today for the new Fitbit Sense. And the other one, and Bob might comment on this next week. Today I'm going to be doing a bit on two-factor authentication. It appears that Microsoft is developing a new, I actually got this sent to me by one of our people watching the show. And the Microsoft new password manager is going to work across all these devices, but it's being built in to the Authenticator app. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about some Authenticator apps that for two-factor authentication, but their password manager is going to be actually built into the two-factor Authenticator app. Now, that's all the information I have on this. It's not out yet, but this is all coming, and this is you'll see how this works in today's presentation. So lots of new stuff. Wow. Bob, are you up? Are you ready to go?
Yes, sir. Why am I getting that? Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending December 18th, 2020. Microsoft and FireEye confirm SolarWinds supply chain attack. The SolarWinds supply chain attack is also how hackers gained access to FireEye's own network, which the company disclosed earlier this week. The Washington Post cited sources claiming that multiple other government agencies were also impacted. Reuters reported that the incident was considered so serious that it led to a rare meeting of the U.S. National Security Council at the White House a day earlier on Saturday. Sources speaking with the Washington Post linked the intrusion to ATP-29, a code name used by the cybersecurity industry to describe hackers associated with the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service. Currently known affected victims of this group attack, in addition to FireEye, are the U.S. Treasury Department, U.S. Department of Commerce, National Telecommunications and Information Administration, the Department of Health, National Institute of Health, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, the Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. Department of State. You can read more about this on ZDNet. Here are 7 steps to help you identify an e-card scam. Make the most of your holiday greeting exchanges by avoiding fraudulent e-cards. With the holiday season in full swing, you might be seeing a flurry of e-cards, cheaper, more animated, and easier to send than via post. E-cards have taken the place of many people's traditional holiday cards. But unlike a traditional snail mail card, e-card comes with risks. Yay, it's a bummer, but malicious actors take advantage of people's holiday cheer by using e-cards as a method for delivery of malware. But luckily, there are ways to protect yourself against e-card scams. There are 7 steps to take before opening that e-card. 1. Check who the sender is. 2. Contact the sender. 3. Confirm who the e-card is addressed to. 4. Google it. 5. Don't assume a logo means that it's legitimate. 6. Look for confirmation codes. 7. Don't download anything that contains an exe file. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's worth it this holiday season to protect yourself and your loved ones against e-card scams. Stay informed, stay safe, and have a lovely holiday season. The largest hack of U.S. federal agencies in history. The list of victims of a sweeping cyber attack grew yesterday as the State and Homeland Security Department and the National Institute of Health confirmed breaches. They join the Treasury and Commerce Departments as victims of what appears to be the largest hack of U.S. federal agencies in history. While not yet confirmed, analysts believe the Russian-hacked hacker group ATP-29, also known as Cozy Bear, is behind the attack. The group first infiltrated software giant SolarWinds, which serves 300,000 customers, including the U.S. military, the Pentagon, NASA, 425 companies in the Fortune 500, and more. Malicious code was implanted into a general software update, acting as a Trojan horse for the company that downloaded it. Experts believe the group may have had access to some organizations for as long as 9 months. SolarWinds estimates 18,000 customers were exposed. Third-party extensions for Facebook, Instagram, and others have infected millions. Browser extensions are usually useful, sometimes fun, and occasionally dangerous. That's the case for at least 28 browser extensions analyzed by Avast threat intelligence researchers after the threat was identified by Czech researcher at cz.nic. The affected extensions contained malware and include Video Downloader for Facebook, Vimeo Video Downloader, Instagram Story Downloader, VK Unblocker, as well as additional browser extensions for Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge. According to the browser store download numbers, more than 3 million people may be affected worldwide. At the time of publishing, the infected extensions are still available for download. If you suspect you might have downloaded one, Avast researchers recommend disabling and uninstalling them immediately, and then scan and remove any leftover malware. They have also reported the issue to Microsoft and Google, who are looking into it. The FTC orders Big Tech to explain their data collection. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission sent orders this week to 9 internet giants demanding they share details of their data collection processes, including the method and manner in which they collect, use, store, and disclose information about individuals who use their services. Amazon, Discord, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube, Snapchat owner, Snap, and TikTok owner ByteDance were each served with the orders. Privacy is becoming a major concern for citizens, commented Avast security evangelist Luis Carrones, and internet companies collect and use people's data. It only makes sense for the government to learn what they are doing with it and how that data is being handled. The inquiry comes at a time when the biggest social media and video streaming services are under security from several factions. All companies named have been suspected of improper use of consumer data and or violations of the federal anti-monopoly law. A 6-year-old spends over $16,000 on in-app purchases. Real estate broker Jessica Johnson got a shocking surprise when she learned that the charges totaling $16,293.10 on her credit card bill came from her 6-year-old son, George, making in-app purchases while playing his favorite game on the iPad, Sonic Forces. When the Apple charges began showing up on her Chase bank statement, Johnson thought it must be fraud. She contacted Chase, which informed her the Apple scam are among the most common and she'd have to contact Apple to resolve the matter. She did so, but learned the charges did originate from her account. In addition, Apple told her that she missed the 60-day window to dispute charges, so there was nothing the company could do. Unfortunately, Johnson had not taken steps to set up the parental controls on her son's iPad to prevent this kind of situation. Read more on the story at the New York Post. China suspected of spying via Caribbean phone networks. Mobile threat intelligence expert Gary Miller shared research with The Guardian that he alleges gives evidence that China may have been spying on Americans using mobile phone networks in the Caribbean. Miller believes China has been able to target track and intercept Americans' phone communications by using a state-controlled mobile phone operator to direct signals messages to U.S. subscribers, particularly when they are traveling abroad. Signaling messages are commands that allow operators to locate phones, connect one to another, and assess roaming charges. A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy in Washington denied the allegations. And that's it for a very busy security news roundup episode this week. Stay safe, have a very happy holiday. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Christmas cards. Is there nothing safe in life? Is there nothing sacred but Christmas cards?
Yeah.
All right. Huey, you're up.
All right, give me a second to set up and move the pictures out of the way. Let's see. Your phone, an important Windows 10 app. I'm Huey Poplock. Your phone is PC. It's pre-installed in recent Windows 10 updates, and if not, it is available to download from the Microsoft Store. To find out if you already have the app on your PC, in the search box on the taskbar, type in your phone and select your phone from the results. If your phone is not in your app list, open Microsoft Store in the app list, and in the search box at the top of the store page, type in your phone. If it is there, this is what it will look like. If you click on Microsoft Store and you already have installed your phone, you'll see the box at the top that I've got outlined in red. If that's not there, that means you have to get the app, and it is free, and you just click the app and follow the directions. Here's a description of it. Once you have your phone app installed on your PC, follow the directions to install the app on your phone. When you open your phone app for the first time, the steps vary depending upon how you've previously used Windows and various Microsoft mobile apps. Here are some of the things that it might ask you to do on your PC and on your phone. In the search box on the taskbar, type in your phone and then select your phone from the results. Sign into your Microsoft account. Or it might say enter your mobile phone number so it can send you a link to install a companion app on your phone. The specific app sent varies depending upon the type of phone you have. Typically, they will send you the Your Phone companion app for Android. When you receive the text message from Microsoft, tap the link to install the companion app on your phone. Open the companion app on your phone and follow the setup instructions. If you're prompted to sign into the companion app, be sure to use the same Microsoft account that you're using on your PC. Accept notifications on your phone that request access to your photos and other related permissions. After you've completed the setup process on your Android phone and PC, you'll be able to use the Your Phone app to see your most recent photos from your phone and to send text messages from your PC. If you have an iPhone, you'll be able to send web pages from Microsoft Edge on your phone to Microsoft Edge on your PC. Here's what it looks like. Note, if you followed all of the setup steps and the connection is not working on your PC, select Settings and make sure Photos and Messages are set to On. The Your Phone app on Windows 10 lets you link your phone and PC to unlock a variety of cross-device experiences for Android. See recent photos from your phone on your PC for Android only, and view and send text messages from your PC for Android only. Android users get the best integration. The Your Phone app is a powerful and often overlooked part of Windows 10. If you're already an Android user, you can use it to text right from your PC, see all your phone's notifications, and quickly transfer photos. If you have the right phone and PC, you can even use your phone app to mirror your phone's screen and see it on your PC. Unfortunately, the iPhone users won't get any of that. Apple restrictions prevent that level of integration. iPhone users can set up your phone app to send web pages back and forth between their phones and PCs, but that's about it. How to transfer photos from your PC using your phone. Windows 10's Your Phone app shows recent photos and screenshots you've taken on your Android phone. The last 25 photos and screenshots you've taken will show up when you click on the photos on the right sidebar. From there, you can either drag a photo to a folder in the File Explorer or right-click and choose Copy or Save As and move them to your PC. Additionally, you can select Share and send the photo via text or email. It sounds minor, but avoiding the hassle of connecting your phone to your PC or jumping through hoops with Google Photos or OneDrive is a feature that can save a lot of time. So what you have here is the app, Your Phone on the left, and I just take one of the screenshots and I dragged it over my file manager, and just before I let go, a picture of it is there. When I let go, it creates it on my PC. If you need to transfer an older image, you'll have to connect your phone to your PC via cable, transfer them with a cloud service like OneDrive, or send them via email. How to text from your Windows 10 PC with an Android phone. The Your Phone app displays all of your text message conversations from your phone. You can send responses to see incoming text messages all in one place. Your conversations update to match your phone, so if you delete a thread from your phone, it will disappear from your PC as well. And here's what it will look like on your PC. Texting from the Your Phone app is straightforward, and the general layout may remind you of email. Click the On Messages in the left sidebar, and you should see all of your current text messages. If you don't, try clicking Refresh. Click on the message thread you want to respond to, like you would the subject of an email, and type into the Enter a Message box to respond. You can also scroll through your text messages history if you want to refer back to an older message. Here's what it looks like. The Your Phone app is able to mirror notifications from your phone to your PC. Notifications from your Android phone will appear on your PC, and clearing the notification from your PC will clear it from your phone. You can customize which apps show notifications on your PC, either to limit them to notifications you care about or prevent doubles. Unfortunately, all you can do is clear the notifications. While more recent versions of Android allow for notification interactions, like responding to a message, that functionality isn't mirrored to your PC. Clearing the notifications from your phone PC app also clears them from your Android phone. Overall, the Your Phone app is an unsung hero of Windows 10. It provides real value by letting you reach for the phone less often, whether that's to answer a text, check a notification, or move some pictures. If you haven't tried it out yet and you have an Android phone, you should give it a chance. You may be pleasantly surprised by what you find. Now, how does Microsoft Your Phone app work with an iPhone? We just connected our Android phone to Your Phone app, and things are very different for the iPhone. That's because the app has many limitations in the case of the iPhone. You do not get as many powers as available for Android phones. That is, you cannot sync messages, notifications, or even photos as available on the Android. Then what does the app do? Well, it lets you send links from the supported apps such as a web browser, a YouTube, Pinterest, and more from your iPhone to the Windows PC. By doing so, the links will open directly on your system. For instance, if you are reading an interesting article on any browser on your iPhone, then you can continue to read it on your computer using your iPhone app. In short, it connects iPhone and Windows in a different way than Android. The timeline also lets you view the recently opened and edited Microsoft files from Excel, Word, and so on the iPhone. The files must have been saved to the cloud, and only then can you view them on your timeline. Clicking on a file in timeline will open it directly on your PC without you having to open any other app. Besides sharing links, you can also keep track of pages visited via the Edge browser on the iPhone. That's done via the timeline feature on Windows. You can click on the web page and timeline and it will load on your PC. Here's an article you might want to take a look at: how to link Microsoft Your Phone app to iPhone on Windows. And there is a link there to go to. Let's review by showing some screenshots. If you want to get to your phone app on the taskbar, look for it down on the lower left. The number in the circle is how many current notifications are on your app from your phone. You can also get it using the All Apps list, or if you have it on your Start menu, you can click on it from your Start menu. Or you can type in the search box and click on your phone app at the top of the page. Here's what it looks like. First, we have the notifications. These have to be turned on your phone as to which ones will pop up on your notifications, and you can control which apps you want to have notifications from. When you go to the messages, you can see a list of all the messages that you have gotten on your phone. You click on one of them, it will open that conversation up. If you move down to photos, you'll see a whole bunch of photos that you've taken. You can then copy them over to your PC. You can also make and receive calls right on your PC. There's no need to search for your phone to answer personal or work calls. Stay connected by answering calls right on your PC. And use your PC speakers, microphone, and larger screen for a richer calling experience. Here I am calling my own iPhone, but I just dialed in the number on the right, and it connected to the phone and dialed the number from the phone and was waiting for me to answer. Now in settings, you've got a lot of settings in your app. There are general settings. You want to show the badges. That's that little number. It shows how many notifications that you have. And you have some settings there. You can have more than one device. And then you can turn several things in your features on and off. Let's take a look at them a little closer. Their photos you got to turn on. Messages, allow this app to show text messages from my phone. Allow this to send, and so on, attachments. And you can read. I don't have to read all of these to you, and you can take a look on your phone because it may be different on your phone. And then there's some notifications, which ones you want on, and same thing with calls. you want to allow this app to make and manage calls from your phone, you can turn that off. But still get your messages, photos, and notifications. Under personalization, you can have wallpaper, you can have an audio player and multiple windows. And then, of course, you got help and feedback and about. Your phone, an important Windows 10 app. I'm Hewie Poplock. Thank you for joining us today. And if you aren't using it, at least you have an idea now what it does. I use it all the time. And Ron's going to talk about two-factor authentication. And one of the things I use it for is that when I get where I'm authenticating, I just check down into my Your Phone app and I can see what my code is and I can type it in without having to go find my phone or go get it in the other room, that sort of thing. Okay, Ron, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Huey. I'm going to just play Dewey's talk today, and I think we should be able to hear it.
Good morning, friends. This is Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is update on cellular 5G. For those of you who haven't stayed current about 5G, I'll try to bring you up to speed. 5G stands for fifth generation cellular technology that promises to be 10 to 100 times faster than the present 4G or 4G LTE. 5G began rolling out several years ago and is expected to be implemented worldwide in the next 5 to 10 years. Beyond speed improvement, 5G is expected to unleash a massive IoT ecosystem, that's Internet of Things, in which cellular networks may also serve communication needs for billions of connected devices. You may expect trade-offs between 5G speed, latency, and end costs. By the way, latency is how long it takes a packet of data to travel round trip between 2 points. Regarding trade-offs, cloud-based services will likely require speed improvements more than latency improvements. However, critical applications like self-driving cars require the fastest possible latency for instantaneous response time. They almost never require fast data rates. They need latency. 5G's latency is as low as 1/1000th of a second, which is 200 times faster than the present 4G and 250 times faster than average human reaction time. Think about that. This blazingly fast reactive time may eventually be used in applications like remote surgical operations, they call it telesurgery, gaming, simultaneous translating, and driverless vehicles with dedicated onboard 5G. Well, all that sounds really exciting. However, the rollout of 5G is intensely complicated and would take more time than I have here to explain completely, but I'll do my best. Perhaps the best way to understand 5G sort of from a global view is to compare it to a dual band Wi-Fi router. Many of you have one of these. This has a lower frequency band with greater range, but slower. But it's slower in speed. And it has a higher frequency band that has less range, but is faster. 5G frequencies have several broad ranges. Frequency range 1 contains lower frequencies up to 6 gigahertz, and this includes the current 4G LTE frequency range. Now, range number 2, FR2, are frequencies from roughly 24 gigahertz to 53 gigahertz. 6 gigahertz may also be seen as the dividing line for what is called millimeter wave, or MM wave. Spectrum above 6 gigahertz is millimeter wave. Spectrum below 6 gigahertz is not millimeter wave. Since the merger of Sprint into T-Mobile, there are now effectively 3 cellular companies in the US, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. Each approached spectrum somewhat differently from the others, at least when they started. They're now getting to be pretty much the same. Verizon is building out what it calls 5G ultra wideband. Verizon's ultra wideband is mostly 28 gigahertz millimeter wave. It has very high speed, but suffers greatly in distance and building penetration. In fact, there's a hard time going through a plate glass window. Verizon's fast millimeter wave UWB is now in parts of 61 U.S. cities, which includes 48 stadiums and 7 airports. May sound great, but it ain't that much. To greatly increase their distance, which is range, Verizon repurposed a huge chunk of its existing LTE spectrum so it could work in both 5G and LTE, and they call this dynamic spectrum sharing, DSS. Despite DSS, Verizon's 4G LTE speed hasn't changed. That's the present speed, like my phone and maybe yours is on, but their 5G remains super fast. T-Mobile's 5G network, like Verizon, started with fast ultra-wideband and later added in a much slower 0.6 and 2.5 gigahertz frequencies to greatly increase U.S. coverage. Though T-Mobile speeds are relatively slow, their wide coverage area makes it practical for present users and often attractive to prospective users. AT&T, on the other hand, has a very impressive list of cities with 5G coverage that, like T-Mobile, started with very fast ultra-wideband millimeter wave for business use primarily, and then they added in a much slower 0.85 gigahertz frequency to appeal to consumers. In June 2020, AT&T, like Verizon before, also began deploying DSS, dynamic spectrum sharing, to share its much slower LTE spectrum with its very fast 5G network. Now, how about 5G in Canada? There are currently 4 Canadian 5G service providers. And if you're Canadian, you probably know these well. Rogers Wireless, Bell Mobility, TELUS Mobility, and Videotron. Expecting to join these 4 in 2021, or perhaps a little beyond, are TELUS Fido, Kudu Mobile, Virgin Mobile, Freedom Mobile, Shaw Mobile, and SaskTel, I presume in Saskatchewan. Question, what's the bottom line on cellular 5G in the US and Canada at this time? Well, folks, it's not really good news. The answer is, despite a proliferation of 5G phones and lots of 5G hype, the truth is that only a very small percentage of people have true available service at this time. True 5G will eventually happen, but it is still several years, maybe 3 or 4 years away. Finally, if you plan to buy a new phone in the next year or two, I'd suggest buying a 5G phone if you can afford it. And if you decide to change cellular carriers, which often happens when you buy a new phone, be sure that you make the best choice. So you ask, how do I determine that? What is the best choice to pick best way to pick a cellular carrier? My advice is to pick the carrier who has the strongest cellular signal, whether it be 5G or 4G LTE, wherever you live or are at most of the time. Pick the carrier who has the strongest signal where you live or are at most of the time. Not approaching cellular from this perspective can lead to tons of aggravation. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today, and I'm sticking with it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you muchly, Dewey, for doing that. That was great. Hi, Joanne. All right. Now I'm going to start mine. I'm not going to unshare my screen because I want to move right into my segment. It's going to be a part 1, part 2. So you're going to have part 1 today and part 2 next week. And this is on 2-factor authentication. And we'll just start it now.
Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Today's topic is going to be 2-factor authentication. This is a very important security topic to discuss, so let's get on with it. Now you remember the routine. If you like the video, please click the like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get on with the show. My goal today is that this tutorial should be fun and it should be easy to understand. Now, there are 4 methods of two-factor authentication, and I've tried to make it very simple, so I've called it simpler, I've called it simpler, I've called it simplest, and then there's brain dead, where it's so simple you don't have to do anything. That is going to be available at the end of the video, so please watch the whole video and you'll find out what the easiest way of two-factor authentication is. So let's get started. Now, two-factor authentication is very easy to understand. What is two-factor authentication? Well, it is simply a second way of identifying who you are. Let me explain how this works. Traditionally, when you go to log into a site, you'll put a password in. Now, I do understand there's lots of problems with passwords, but two-factor authentication is a second way of identifying who you are. Let's look at the problems we have with passwords. Now, I fully understand passwords are difficult. Passwords are always a huge problem. You know, despite having password managers for over 10 years, less than 5% of people use password managers. People use simple passwords to try and remember them. They use passwords for multiple accounts, the same password. And oftentimes, even if they have really good passwords and they use a password manager, they have very poor computing skills. And as the week goes by, they give up clues as to what their passwords do or are. So I do get it. And this is not a video on how to improve your passwords, because passwords just don't work. It's very interesting, though. Google published an article about a year ago, and within 2 or 3 seconds of you logging in onto the computer, Google can 100% identify who you are just by what you type on the computer. So it's very interesting. So passwords probably will be going away, and the sooner the better. Now, when we're talking about security, there's always the nobody somebody argument. And I've heard this many times from people in our audience today. Why worry? I am a nobody. Who would want to hack me? Now, it is very interesting, though. This is Tech for Seniors. Most of the world's personal wealth is actually held by seniors. So if you did want to focus in on a group who you wanted to hack, it would be seniors. But having said that, let me explain how hacking actually works. Now, I want you to have a little fun with this. I want you to go outside. I want you to lay down in the evening, and I want you to look up at the stars. The billions and billions of stars that are up there. And I want you to think of those stars as Google accounts. Google has a lot of accounts. It has over 1 billion accounts, right? And I want you to think of those stars as Google accounts. Now, what is in all those accounts that hackers would want? Man, all those stars and all that, what would those hackers want in all those accounts? And many of you think, yes, they want to get my bank account information so they can get into my bank account and steal my money. Well, that's not really true. Banks are pretty good now at protecting you, and it's a lot of work to try and get some money out of your bank account. So what hackers are looking for is money, and money is in bitcoins. Now, I fully understand that you probably don't own any bitcoins. You may or may not know what a bitcoin is. And you may, in fact, not even have a credit card and just want to pay cash all the time. I mean, seniors tend to be very conservative people. But let me tell you that Bitcoins are the currency of the future. And a lot of transactions in the world today, particularly in certain countries, are in Bitcoins. And there's billions and billions of dollars of Bitcoins traded in the world every day. And this is a digital form of currency that's stored in your Bitcoin wallet, which can be found in your Google account. So if the bad guys were looking for money, they're looking for Bitcoins because it's non-traceable and it's easy to get if they can get into your account and strip out the Bitcoins. That is where the bad guys are looking for the money. And the second thing is pictures. Pictures are very important, and this fuels the porn industry. So when the bad guys are hacking into your account, they're looking for compromising pictures. They're not only looking for compromising pictures, but they're looking for pictures that could be ransomed in the future. And this often happens when, there's young teenagers involved and they are taking pictures of their new boyfriend or with it, doing some things they shouldn't be doing, and they forget when they take those pictures are all uploaded to the cloud. So when the bad guys come in and they're raiding the account, they're looking for those pictures, not only just to fuel the porn industry, which is huge, but also for future ransom. And you'll find out that a lot of, particularly country and western singers or singers in general, who have become very popular or successful, all of a sudden there's some pictures that shouldn't be on the internet or published. And of course, the first thing that happens is there's a denial, but after the pictures are out there, there's the, oh yes, my account was hacked 10 years ago. And finally, now the pictures surfaced. So pictures and money are the two things the bad guys want. So most of the hacking doesn't occur by people. It occurs by bots. These are basically computer software programs people have written to try and attack and get into your account. So these are not actually physical people logging in, trying to sneak around and hack into your account. So I want you, as you're laying there and you're looking up into the sky, I want you to think of Star Wars and think about the bad guys launching the bots that are attacking the good guys. So what happens? Well, Google responds with their own bots and the war begins. And as you're sitting there looking up at the stars, thinking about this, think about the war of the good and the bad. But of course, the good will prevail and Google wins, right? So the casualty of war, though, could be your Google account. In other words, as these bots are attacking your account, they're stripping out the pictures in your account, they're looking for Bitcoins, and as they go into your email system, they're demolishing, they're destroying your emails. Bang! Google zaps your account, and it's gone. So your account is the casualty of the bot war. So what is in your Google account? It's your Gmail. So in my case, let me tell you what I would lose if I lost my Google account. I've spent years and years and years developing relationships with a lot of organizations I work with, huge number of people that I know. I communicate daily with them in email. That would all be gone. My Google Drive has 200 gigabytes of data on it. That would all be gone. Now, I've probably got it backed up, but it's still a lot of work to get it back up to Google Drive. Google Photos, you're going to lose all your Google Photos. Oh, man, that would be impossible to put all those photos. I've got 20,000 photos up there. It would almost be impossible to redo that. And the biggest one for me, and I realize this isn't for everybody, but is my YouTube channel. I've spent the last 5 or 6 years. There's tens of thousands of hours in that channel, and all the videos would all be gone. All because of an attack. All because someone hacked into my account, and now it's all gone. So do you want to start over? I don't think you do. So let's get you protected.
Part 2 next week. So, Bob, you're up.
Web Trails by Avast Labs. If you're curious about the data that third-party companies might be using to profile you, and you probably know that you're being tracked online, but do you know exactly what's being tracked and who's doing the tracking? This extension will help you analyze that information in many different ways. Get insight about yourself through your browsing history. Avast History Viewer is 100% private. No data ever leaves your browser, and no data is created or stored. Avast History Viewer gives you a graphical view of the browsing history stored in your Chrome browser. There are 7 views and analyses that help you understand your online behavior. You learn about your habits, times, days, and months when you're most active online, and the most active sites. Your social behavior, top connections, most used networks, most active times and days. Your searches, top interests and top keywords. Videos, most popular videos and services, and the amount of time you spend on those videos. Locations, where your information is coming from. History, lists of all visits. Security, major security leak events affecting sites you have visited, private information at risk due to unsecured connections. So let's install the extension and take a look at it firsthand. WebTrail by Avast Labs has been added to Chrome, and this is what the icon looks like. Now, you'll notice that the extension icon in Chrome automatically hides all new things that are added. So if you want to show that icon in the toolbar, you need to click on this and then go down to where you find Web Trails and click on the pin to turn it from gray to blue. Once it's blue, you can close this out, and now here is your extension. So let's click on it, and as you can see, even after I have just installed it, there's quite a bit of activity. I'm not going to go through and analyze everything. You can do this on your own activity. But you'll be surprised just how much information is being collected. A lot more than you suspect. Stay safe, be free. I hope this helps. I'll be putting a link to the extension in the notes.
Thanks, Bob. Just to clarify, I think we talked about this before, but you have to actually run Avast antivirus software for the extension to work. Is that not correct?
No, you don't.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, you don't. This comes from Avast Labs. So this is just a way for you to analyze all of the information that's tracked whenever you get on the internet.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
That's going to be scary to look at.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Yeah, well, not looking at it doesn't mean it's not there. And maybe
Yep.
it's better to know than not to know.
Ray, my toes are tapping.
Okay, today we're going to focus on the granddaddy of all Christmas songs. So let me share my screen. Share the computer sound.
The granddaddy. White Christmas.
Okay, Tech for Seniors. This morning we're going to close out our Christmas songs for the year 2020 with the granddaddy of them all, White Christmas, the best-selling song of all time. So White Christmas by Bing Crosby was written by Irving Berlin for the movie Holiday Inn. and is considered the most recorded Christmas song with more than 500 versions in several different languages. Now, the original by Bing Crosby was released in 1942, and that is the world's best-selling single at more than 50 million copies sold. When you consider other versions of White Christmas and add them to the equation, sales of the song exceed 100 million. Now, the Drifters, they were a group where literally members would come and go many, many times over the years. They would basically drift in and drift out, so you could have not had a more appropriate name for this vocal group. The original Drifters was formed in 1953 with lead singer Clyde McPhatter and bass Bill Pinkney. Now, the manager of the group at the time owned the name Drifters, and following a monetary dispute, he decided to fire the entire group in 1958. They were replaced with members of the Five Crowns, an obscure vocal group led by the then unknown Benny King. This new Drifters group, mind you, was now expected to immediately go on tours that had been committed to, and perform live concerts with songs they probably never sang before. The legendary songwriting duo of Lieber and Stoller were hired to produce the recording sessions for this new group, with a result of many top 10 hits over the next ensuing years. Vocal group aficionados like myself separate the various Drifters groups by referring to the early songs as the pre-1959 Drifters. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the song White Christmas as done by the Drifters. This was released in November of 1954, and as you hear in this song, there are two primary voices. Bill Pinkney, in this case, he's the bass, but he's singing what I call a lead bass vocal, and then Clyde McPhatter is doing the tenor and falsetto. Many younger fans heard this version of White Christmas for the very first time when it appeared in the 1990 Christmas family comedy movie Home Alone. And then a few years later, the song appeared in another Christmas movie, The Santa Claus. The cartoon you will now see was created by Joshua Held, and there's more details about his work can be found at his own website, joshuaheld.com. Two of the original Drifters? Yes. They are Clyde McPhatter, and when he started the Drifters, he had actually left another vocal group called the Dominoes. And in that group, he was sharing the lead singer role with a young man named Jackie Wilson. And then Bill Pinkney. And Bill is the last surviving original Drifter, and he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988. Here we go.
And Merry Christmas.
I'll take Bing.
Ron, you're muted.
Thanks, Ray. It was blocked out by a black square over it. We couldn't see the visual.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happens. I'm going to have to investigate. The visual is great, and I encourage everybody to go to YouTube and look up that. Just put in Drifters White Christmas. This will be one of the options, and it's fun to watch.
You can rest assured when I do the editing, it will have on the description below, as I always do for all the links. I put it in the description, and that will be there. Well, listen, it's top of the hour. It's 10 o'clock. It's time to, actually, it's 10:03. It's time to leave. On behalf of everybody at Tech for Seniors, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
You too.
You should remember that Zoom gave a Christmas present this year. Those of you who get the Tech for Senior newsletter will know that I sent this out in the last newsletter, the times in which Zoom now has unlimited services for you. So if you have a non-paid account that is limited to 40 minutes, that all goes away within the time frame that Zoom is giving you, so you can Zoom 24/7 with your family, okay? And there's certain times that this will happen between now and through New Year's, and it's unlimited time for non-paid accounts. So that's Zoom's Christmas present to you. If you don't get Tech for Seniors newsletter, you know where you can get it. You can go over to Tech for Senior and sign up, and then you'll keep informed. Until next week, stay safe, and we'll have the gang back next week for their predictions on what's going to happen in the next year. We will have part 2 of two-factor authentication and lots more. So have a safe week. Enjoy your Christmas and have a safe Christmas at home. All right.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Everybody in a week's
Christmas,
time.
everyone.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.